condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
It's the one and only queen of receipts, the dropping gems in these YouTube streets. The lawyer Royce, nowhere to go. Tune in for the infamous morning show, giving the news that you need to know. So don't you dare miss the wake-up call. Then in the evening, I got all for y'all. Get your dose of daily vitamins. You know the queen makes it make sense. So true. Sex game, my kick, the words, my faith, can't even only been money saves. It's like an earthquake, don't calling you out. Queen of close to head, this kid of on the bound. Such an awesome place, just a more for all.
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your nightly vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, so here I am back as I promised you guys. I'm a little bit late, but nevertheless, I'm here, so let's get into it. Okay, listen, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr_A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A. Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. And as per usual, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you know what to do. Hello, Tasty Cake. Alexi is here. Auntie Leah, Lillian X is in the house. Hey, y'all, TV. All right, Patricia, Rosalind, DSB is in the house. Shout out to you, beloved. My Aunt Egypt. Okay, Anita Harrell, Michael M. Let's get into it. December Reed. YouTube Decides is here. All right, they certainly do. Okay, so that happens. Hey, G from the land. Danielle is in the house. Nomad State. Most hated bronze flat power God. Okay, so shout out to everyone in the chat. Everyone tuned into the Queen. Okay, looks like I don't have any moderators. We the people, Fat Boo is in here. Cosmic Thoughts. Okay, so my moderators have to work in the morning, honey, so they're not here. So you all let me know if you see any trolls, and I'll take care of them. So let's talk about these drones. Now, as I said, I've been talking to my friends, a couple of my friends about these drones for the past few weeks. They've been over in New Jersey. They've been said to be flying over military bases. Now people are saying they're seeing them in New York, and people are concerned. And the government knows exactly what's going on, but they're not being transparent. And there's this guy, Kinzinger. Now I want you to hear his report because he's trying to tell us that these are planes, that there are no drones, these are planes. And I find it all very interesting because, how stupid does he think we are? Okay, and so let's get into it. And then we're going to talk about what an expert has to say. Okay, are drones over New Jersey alien tech? UFO expert says there's something nefarious about this. And I have to agree because, like I told you guys, I don't think these are drones. Okay, I think there's something to foot. And don't forget that it was just about a month or so ago, right before this, I want you all to pay attention, when the Queen told you about Project Bluebeam. Okay, remember that report? For those of you who missed it, you should go back and watch that video. It was very thorough. And nobody else has been talking about that. But I want you guys to pay attention. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm just going to go through a few clips. Also Trump came out and said they know exactly what it is. And basically, they're just not telling us. So let's go to a few of these clips. We'll go to Trump first.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports?
The government knows what is happening. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people. And they should, because the people are really, they happen to be over Bedminster. Want to know the truth? They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
Have you received an intelligence briefing on the drones?
I don't want to comment on that.
All so nefarious. Now let's look at a few of the reported sightings where people videoed these things themselves.
When things like this are happening, it seems everyone starts to look up, like my crew and I have been here in Mendham recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might be able to sort out what they're seeing in the skies. But I guarantee there are so many people looking up and making those recordings because this mystery is one that needs to be solved. For now, we're live here in Mendham Borough. Tony Yates, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Lee's saying he's wondering whether or not that might be the moon, Tony, but you pointed out it's exactly the question people are asking. What is it?
No. Yeah. Yeah, no, we're looking at the moon right now, and that's nowhere near the moon.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, the moon.
What the fuck is that? Now, who thinks that that looks like a drone? Who thinks that looks like a drone? Maad Egypt said, are coming from the ocean or a portal opening up. Yeah, well, there's been some speculation that some of these things are coming from the water. Absolutely. That has been said. Okay, so now let's talk about before I get into that, I want you all to hear what this fool Kinzinger had to say. I forget his first name, but this is the one that's trying to tell us it's nothing but planes.
On the internet are all airplanes. They're literally all airplanes. Some of them will show an airplane that's kind of stable out there and says that's a drone. And actually, it's an airplane flying towards you at 30,000 feet. And I can see the lighting on it. And if there are drones out there, by the way, and if any of these pictures that they have shown are actual drones, these drones then are complying with FAA lighting requirements, a green on the right, a red on the left with a strobe. And so it's not a run. It's not aliens if there are drones. My guess is if there are drones, again, because, again, all I've seen are airplanes, then it is more than likely some company that's out testing drones or something like that and has no requirement to tell the public that they're doing it because they're actually operating these things legally. There have been no accusations of illegal operations. By the way, as a pilot myself, I can fly over a military base whenever I want. Those restrictions don't exist. So I think there's a lot of mass hysteria, and I've heard stories of people pointing lasers at these quote-unquote drones, and then the drones' lights go off. Actually, let's be clear. I've been lased as a pilot before. You're supposed to turn off all your lights once you get lased so that they can't find you because it can actually damage your eyes.
Right.
Okay, you can tell he's a BSer. Okay, please pay attention. Okay, and then he's talking about he's never seen one. I hate when you tell somebody something and they say, well, I've never heard of that, or I've never seen it. Well, just because you didn't hear of it or see it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Like, get the hell out of here. I mean, he really thinks we're stupid. He really thinks we're dumb. I just want you all to pay attention. And so anyway, let's talk about what this expert has to say, because I am not listening to him. He sounds ridiculous. Okay, likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. So now this is a UFO expert who says that he in fact believes something nefarious is going on. Okay, and a matter of fact, let me put his picture up here on the screen. Now, the White House has ruled out foreign adversaries, okay, because at first they were saying something about Iran and China. And then they said, oh, this is the same thing as the time China sent those balloons over here. Do you all remember that? When they were talking about they sent those balloons over here, they were saying it's a repeat of that, even though, mind you, that had already been debunked, okay? Okay, so please pay attention. And then some people are saying it's a whole psyop, and which is probably more than likely what it is, in my opinion. Now, the White House has ruled out foreign adversaries and hobbyists as the cause of the drone invasion over in New Jersey, leaving many residents to speculate that it could be aliens. Now, the internet has been flooded with images and videos showing bright orbs and triangle-shaped craft hovering over in the night sky that move in bizarre flight patterns. George Norrie, host of Coast to Coast AM and a leading voice of the unexplained, said that it's bizarre. There's something else very, very nefarious about this. I thought that was George Norrie. Now, the drones are avoiding capture, he says. They shut their lights off. They're undetectable in some cases. It's very, very bizarre. This could be an act of war for all I know. Okay, but alien tech, Norrie says it doesn't add up. I'm going to rule out extraterrestrial. It doesn't sound like that. It sounds more like a military effort than anything else. Now, I'm not going to rule out extraterrestrial, but Pentagon Deputy Press Secretary Sabrina Singh said the initial assessment is that this is not the work of a foreign adversary or a foreign entity. The FBI and Homeland Security are currently investigating, and politicians have conflicting takes on it. I bet they do. Listen, they know exactly what this is. All right? That's what they know. They know exactly what it is. White House National Security spokesman John Kirby said this week that many of the reported drones are manned aircraft being operated lawfully. That's the idiot you just heard talking. Okay, a congressman out of New Jersey believes that there is an Iranian ship parked off the east coast of the U.S. and it's sending these drones over certain military bases. Okay, Donald Trump's golf course and strange strategic locations. Now, this is what Norrie says. The drones were first spotted in northern New Jersey near Morris County in November. Residents said the drones gather in clusters at night and fly with their lights off. They appear to avoid detection by helicopter and radio. There are some helicopters that have been seen in the area, and these things seem to avoid those. A few spots drones have surveyed military research facility, Picatinny Arsenal, President-elect Donald Trump's golf course in Bedminster, and around critical infrastructure, including water reservoirs, electrical transmission lines, police stations, and military bases. Don't y'all find this all interesting that these are the places that they're supposedly flying around? Drones are legal as long as they're registered with the FAA and are allowed to fly around certain spots, according to Nori. But this is very strange. It's weird. There are some notable no-fly zones, even for registered drones, around airports, military installations, certain landmarks, nuclear plants, and stadiums during sports games. Now, the FAA issued a temporary ban on flights over Trump's golf course and Picatinny Arsenal military base after request from federal partners. Norris says that the fact that there has been no official statement on what's going on could mean that the government doesn't want to worry U.S. citizens. No. It's not that they don't want to worry the U.S. citizens, because they know darn well if U.S. citizens see things up in the sky, flying around at night, hovering together with lights on, looking all suspicious, that people are going to be concerned. Okay, people are going to have several questions. So they could just miss me with that, talking about they don't want to worry us. What they don't want to do is tell us what the hell's going on, because it's likely something nefarious that they're up to, which brings me back to what I told you guys about Project Bluebeam. And I've talked to you all a myriad of times about these fake alien invasions. Now, this is something that I can't substantiate, but I have told you guys that I think there's going to be a fake alien invasion. I told you all this years ago. Okay? And then, this could all be a precursor to it. Just getting us ready for it, just testing the waters. Maybe this is all they're going to do. Lily X said, I remember, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Maybe this is something they're doing before they hit us with Project Bluebeam. Who knows? But what I do know, that it's something shady going on, and they're sitting there not wanting to tell us what's going on. Okay, and Trump already said that they know exactly what it is. And there's another person who said that they know exactly what it is too. And they don't want to tell us. And that person, I'm going to play a video from him. His name is Ashton Forbes. He's a physicist and an investigator, and he was heavily involved with the disappearance of Malaysian flight MH370. Okay, he worked on that case. So we're going to get to him in just a second. Now, the FAA issued a temporary ban. Okay, the Nori said the fact that there's been no official statement on what's going on is because they don't want to worry the citizens. Maybe there's something that's a little more nefarious, a little more dangerous, and they don't want to alert and panic the public. Well, we have a right to know, okay? They don't mind worrying us about other BS. Did they worry? Did they? But you ought to pay attention. Just think about this. Think about this. Hey, Elder Baba of Truth, beloved, thank you for tuning in. Let me tell you all something. This is a whole load of BS. I'm calling BS right now, because here's the thing. Now, it's very interesting to me when they say they don't want to worry the American public. It could be something nefarious, and they don't want everybody to be all concerned. Well, they sure as hell didn't have a problem worrying us with all the fear-mongering during the pandemic. Did they not worry people then? Did they not fear-monger? And it seemed as though they were trying to make people worry, but now we're supposed to think they don't want us to worry? I just want you all to pay attention to that. They're full of crap. Okay, they are full of crap. At the end of the day, they don't want us to worry. Yeah, they're trying to keep us in the blind and in the dark, like they always do when they're up to something nefarious. But let me continue. So goes on to say, he says, I'm hoping to God that our government is investigating this very thoroughly. They don't have to investigate it, in my opinion, because they're the ones doing it. But let's continue. I have to assume they are. They're just not letting us know all that's going on. So the other thing you've got to be concerned about is drones carrying missiles in some cases. Hope to God that these aren't warfare. Now, one of the strangest parts of this story is the size of the reported drones, according to Nori. They obviously are not from hobbyists. Okay, there's a bunch of kids flying these. There's not a bunch of kids flying these things around, like little toys. Now, Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut is one of several politicians who have called for shooting down the drones if necessary. And then they ask, is it even possible? Would we have time to disable them? Oh, yeah, we've got the technology to take these things out, Nori said. There's no question. I want you to pay attention. Richard Blumenthal, please have several seats. He's one of several politicians. How dumb are these politicians, mind you? Because they're sitting here asking, do we have the capability to shoot them down? Well, of course we do. Of course we do. Why are they playing games? And just to prove my point, let me just show you all this. Do we have look at this. But they really have to ask, do they have the capability to shoot them down? And I'm sorry, that farmer just took one down by himself. These people play so many games, but let me continue. Now, with that all being said, they say, so why is the government permitting them to stick around at this point? Will we get answers, or is this destined to remain another unexplained phenomenon? They're not going to tell us anything until they're through with whatever they're trying to do. I think we may be watching them right now, Nori says, but eventually we're going to take action and probably start shooting these things down. Meanwhile, a Facebook group with 32,800 members, 32,800 members and growing is buzzing with theories and concerns. One poster, Madison Lee, said she's heard the reports that the drones were leaving chemtrails. Oh, is that what they're doing? Well, that makes a whole lot of sense because somebody sent me this just days ago. Hold on, I'm going to have to find that. I was wondering why in the hell there was so many chemtrails all over the sky. It was ridiculous. Measure Man says, I call BS. They don't want to worry, but it is about part of it. Okay, please wake up, my people. It's about power and control. Absolutely, it is, beloved. You already know. And thank you for your insight into the topic and for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, Measurement says, if they can get to your mind and control you with fear, they win. It is about us as the people coming together. Move away from corporate media. You're absolutely right, beloved. And let me tell you something. That is absolutely how they control people, with fear. That's why they're always pushing these narratives of fear mongering. But yet they want to sit there and try to fool us and say, oh, we don't want anyone to be concerned or worried. Well, that's exactly what they want to do. And thank you again for your contribution, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings to you. Now, so they go on to say that these folks on social media, they're sharing stories, and one person reports about all these drones that are leaving chemtrails, saying for most folks, it's fear of the unknown that has them commenting and sharing stories on Facebook. Gina Dill of Pathakok, I don't know how I'm saying this, Pahatskong, New Jersey. Okay, if y'all live there, honey, tell me how to say it. But anyway, posted that she saw hundreds of drones over her house in one night, saying these are not man-made drones. These are huge. Yes, they are, because I've heard that they're, in some cases, as large as SUVs. We are being watched and we are being invaded, she wrote. Honey, this is not an invasion. This is the U.S. government, in my opinion. And then they say how to report a UFO. They literally are giving instructions. Okay, the more info, the better. If you're making a report, be prepared with the date, time, location, duration, and a detailed description of the sighting, photos or videos if you have them, names and contact information of anyone else with you at the time anyone else that's with you at the time you observe the event. Now, here's what you don't want to do. First of all, if you know anything about when people have reported UFO sightings in the past, they got visits to their door from men in black, okay? And we're told that they better not say anything. So I'm going to tell you right now, if I dare to see a UFO, I'm not reporting shite. That's what I'm not going to do. And then please pay attention. They think they're so slick, talking about the more information, the better. The date, time, location, duration, and a detailed description of the sighting, photos or videos, if you have them, names and contact information of you or anyone else with you at the time you observed the event. No, thank you. No, thank you. That's what I won't be doing. Barbara Rashawn says they have chemtrails all over New Orleans, had them all over New Orleans the other day. See, and that's what I'm talking about. Somebody sent me a picture of them. I'm going to try to pull it up so I can show you all because it was ridiculous the amount of chemtrails. I mean, literally covering the sky, almost the entire area of the sky. Just all so crazy. Like so, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Auntie Leah says, stop playing with the queen's top. Her discernment is unmatched. Receipts. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Measure Man says, leave the world behind. We have had the cell outage and multiple more events in that Barry Sorrento movie on Netflix. Exactly. Okay. And thank you for your insight into the topic, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. This is all so crazy. Peace, love, and blessings to you too, Auntie Leah. That's a cute dog on your profile pic. I just noticed. Yeah, so anyway, let me tell you all something. You all better be preparing for whatever. This is the time to be remember your lifelines that I've been giving you since November, Thanksgiving Day of 2020. Okay, stocking up on the bottled water, making you sure you have your generators, even if you get one of those small solar powered generators, flashlights, first aid kits, you name it. Okay, everything you need, non-perishable food items, and stocking up on water. And I told you all, you need to be purchasing water every time you go to the grocery store because you absolutely can never have too much. Okay, and so let's keep going because this is all so crazy. So crazy. Viva Africa says testing flying vehicles to be a commercial industry. Honey, they're doing a whole lot more than that, I promise you. Now, with that all being said, the National UFO Reporting Center, known as NUFORC, NUFORC, is a civilian organization that's been collecting UFO data for decades. Now, this organization shares info with various agencies, and you can submit your report there. They said, no, we're good. We're good. Okay. The Department of Defense's All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, known as AARO, has a reporting tool available for U.S. government employees, service members of contractors with direct knowledge of U.S. government programs or activities related to UAP. Submit a report there. Honey, they must think we're crazy. Okay? They must think we're crazy. Here. Here we go.
Look at all these up here. Those have like a trail on them. These two. And then there's one over here in the distance. Look how close they are to each other. No, no way. Not three all in the same spot. Look, there's another one coming down. Not to mention all the ones over here. There's two behind here. There's two over there. Yeah, look.
Y'all see that?
But one flew, I guess you could say, directly over me. The lights on it was bright enough to where you could see the propellers. And so it was very easily to distinguish between a... Yeah, that's no plane. That is definitely a drone. First of all, a plane wouldn't even be this low, so... To all who say they look like planes, trust me when I tell you, if a plane was flying this low in this area, we'd have a lot to be concerned with.
Definitely not a plane, okay? And that man who's sitting there trying to run game on us, Kinzinger, he could sit down somewhere. Natasha says, we've been programmed to the bull. Yes, absolutely. Most people have. Most people believe anything and everything that the news media, the lamestream media, or the government says, beloved. Thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Oh, I'm sorry. I played that one before or showed that one before. It's just all ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. Thank you, Elle, for your super sticker and your contribution to the channel, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings to you. So now I want to go to this other video. And this is the one with Ashton Forbes. Okay, this is the guy that was involved with the disappearance of Malaysian flight MH370. Now, he was making sense when he was talking, okay? A whole lot more sense than Kissinger. Please pay attention.
We know that we've got full motion video coverage of the entire planet. This was actually admitted to in the UFO hearing just a month ago by both Michael Schellentzar. Maybe the FBI doesn't know because they don't have access to that information, but the NRO, the CIA, the NSA, the NGA, these organizations know exactly what these drones are. So the question is, why are they lying to us about them? And I also think that drones has become the code word for UFOs now as well, which should make us wonder, what are these things flying around? Is there even somebody inside of some of these UFOs that we're seeing? Is that even a requirement? The theory that I kind of like the best, and also I just want to point out that Congress is apparently getting a classified briefing about these drones that are flying around as well. So if there was nothing there, why would they be getting a classified briefing about it? And some of the sightings have indicated that they are transmedium, that they might be coming out of the water. In other cases, they've been saying that they're not giving off any signals or any frequencies, which I'm not really sure what that means. But these could be some of the observables that we see in UFOs. Now, the flip side of it is there is mass hysteria going on right now. We've reached a point now where this is like, it's a self-perpetuating thing where people are now just misidentifying planes and other stuff. And they're claiming that they are, these UFOs or drones when they probably aren't. So there's a lot of mud in the water that's making it very difficult to sift through. The only way we could really get forward on an answer is if we were to get high quality, like military or intelligence grade, like infrared footage of one of these things where we could actually analyze it. And I think the likelihood of that is slim. Now, my personal theory that I like, that Clint Russell and I were talking about just a couple of days ago, was this idea that, like, what if these are some type of defense mechanism, like a mesh network, like a fence, essentially, that is set up, ready to intercept some type of hypersonic weapon, either coming from outer space or coming from like a submarine off the coast or somewhere else, where seconds matter. And even the deployment time would make it less likely that you'd be able to intercept an incoming ICBM or something like that. That would actually make sense in terms of why the local governments have no idea what's going on. And it would make sense in terms of why the federal government would not be able to speak about it and potentially do a classified briefing.
This is all a mess, okay? Measure Man says, it's crazy. Think how things have changed. I have gone from calling my sons to my sons calling me to ensure we are stocked up on essentials. And I'm prior military. We do the weekly family Zooms over here. Okay, and that's a good idea. Everybody needs to be checking up on everybody, okay? Sometimes, we don't talk to family for weeks and even months at a time. But everybody, I'm telling you, honey, things are getting crucial. Everybody needs to be keeping tabs on everybody. Thank you for your insight into the topic, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, now let's look at this report because this is actually from about 2 days ago. Yeah, this was from CNN. 2 days ago, latest news, Trump orders to shoot down drones hovering over the White House. I like his nerve. He said shoot down the ones hovering over the White House. What about the rest of the places they're hovering? Let's get into it.
Tonight, I'm coming home from work at the TV show I produce, On Patrol Live, and I'm driving into Montclair, and all of a sudden, right over the horizon, I see what looks like the full moon. Only it can't be the full moon because the full moon was 2 weeks ago. And all of a sudden the moon is starting to move to my left and it's heading towards me. And then all of a sudden I'm like, no, it's not the moon. Maybe it's a plane. And no, it doesn't look anything like a plane. It's way too big and it's way too low in the sky and it's the middle of the night. Then I think maybe it's a helicopter. No, it's not a helicopter. Then suddenly it gets closer and it's hovering right over the trees. And it looks like, I guess, an enormous drone. I'm not even sure I've never seen anything like it. It's just a drone on steroids.
I don't know if you can tell how many of these there are, but there's 3 here, 1 up here, another one up here, another one back behind this tree in this direction. Oh my God, what is that?
It was just about the size of a school bus, hovering about 150 feet over the trees. And I can't keep my eyes off it, yet I want to take a picture. So I jump out of the car, to get a better look at it. And I'm also hoping that someone else is there, but it's like late at night, there's no other cars on the road. I pull over, get out of my car. It's now hovering right over the trees. And then I realized I should take a picture.
Hold on, I need to see something real quick. Now, he said this thing was about the size of a school bus and that it was hovering about 150 feet over the trees. So with that all been said, and he wanted to get out and take a picture. Okay, let me see ones in the chat for those of you who haven't seen such a thing as big as a school bus hovering 150 feet approximately over the trees. How many of you once in the chat would have gotten out to take a picture or to record it? Let me see. Let me see here. I'm just trying to figure out something. How many of you once in the chat would have gotten out of your safety of your car to take a picture? All of y'all putting ones. Are y'all of my skin tone? Because I have several questions. You mean to tell me you guys would actually get out of, not me, I'm not getting out of my damn car. Okay, the elder Baba Hershah said, hell no. Exactly. I'm getting out of there. Y'all are really going to get out of your car to try to take a picture or record it? No, I'm good. And if I do try to record it, it will be from the safety of my vehicle, whatever I can get then, and it has to be quick because I don't have time to tarry, okay? And then I'm out of there. Christina said, just foolish. This is all so crazy, but let's continue.
I reach back into my car, grab my phone, and as I come back out of my car with my phone, I go up to take a picture and it starts immediately zooming away, almost like it had seen what I was trying to do. It starts coming closer and closer. I start seeing some lights. No sound. I did not hear anything. And I don't even know if it's a drone. It had lights on it, which is weird because when I saw it in the distance, it was all white. But when it got closer and started hovering, there were green and red lights. And I'm like, it looks kind of like a drone, but it was just way too big. It was like about 40 feet by 40 feet and had lights on all 4 ends. And it was hovering, but not making any noise.
You all see that? It says earlier Secret Service denied reports that drones belong to the agency. They say New York and Maryland also reported drone sighting.
I've seen plenty of drones. I'm also an experienced birder. I've been bird watching since
they're concerned, because here's the problem. Somebody sees drones, that's one thing. But now you see drones coming back night after night after night. That's another. And then you see the drones literally over your house. Now we're talking about an invasion of privacy. And now, because of what's going on in today's day and age, with everything with media, whether it's X or YouTube or regular media out there, people see what's going on in the world, whether it's Syria, whether it's Ukraine. They see things being dropped from drones. So my constituents, absolutely, there's an issue there. They have questions. Those questions need to be answered. It's either friendly or foe. That's what it comes down to. And in either case,
because the full
regarding these drones. But, and I've made this very clear to the FBI, to Homeland Security, and the FAA, the agencies chiefly responsible for monitoring drone activity, they must immediately disclose more information to the public. It's totally and completely unacceptable that you have all this drone activity going on that people are seeing with their own eyes. And even if it's not all drone activity and some of it is manned aircraft, there appears to be plenty of drone activity that people are seeing with their own eyes. The fact that the federal agencies responsible for briefing the public have not come forward in a clear way is unacceptable. There has to be some explanation to the public for all this increased activity, and they must do so now. That's why I've written to the FBI, DHS, and FAA this week and asked them to immediately brief the public, not on a piece of paper, but in person. They also need to work closely with state and local law enforcement, who've done a very good job of bringing in a lot of this information, to give them the equipment they need to monitor drone activity. There's clearly too much of it here in Jersey and other parts of the country. Today, I'm also urging federal law enforcement agencies, which are led by the FBI and DHS, to allow state and local law enforcement to deploy assets that can safely take down drones that shouldn't be in the air right now. The technology exists to be able to do this, and law enforcement working with federal agency parents need the tools to react and address any threats from unwelcome and unregistered drones. Again, they have to work closely with their partners. I'm talking about DHS and the FBI, which are the lead agencies, the FBI being the lead agency, right? And make sure that local law enforcement has the tools they need and work closely with their partners in federal law enforcement to make sure that any threats from unwelcome and unregistered drones are dealt with. Together with legislation that I've introduced called the Radar Act to expand federal grants for local law enforcement, to make radar systems more available to state and local police to be able to track these drones. This will ensure that only the drones that should be in the air for registered purposes are in the air. I'm not talking about small recreational drones at the beach or taking pictures at a wedding. I'm talking about drones that fly over military bases, reservoirs, airports, first responder locations, critical infrastructure, and other sensitive sites performing reconnaissance. Drones that are unlicensed, unregistered, and unwelcome of these unauthorized seem to be.
Our governor was not there. That was very disrespectful. This is something that you have drones. You have an invasion coming into the state of New Jersey, hundreds or thousands of them all over everybody's houses, only about 200 feet high. This is priority. It needs to be made priority. We need to find out what's going on now.
He said he demands answers. Okay, well, with that all been said, they did say that DHS, the FBI, FAA didn't have anything to say, and they needed to say something in person, not on paper. Well, here's what they said today. and it was on paper. DHS, FBI, FAA, and DOD joint statement on ongoing response to reported drone sightings. Okay, I guess this is as good as it's going to get because they're not going to give us too much information, but let's see what they're talking about. Let's see what they're talking about. So they say there are more than 1 million drones lawfully registered with the FAA in the United States, and there are thousands of commercial hobbyists and law enforcement drones lawfully in the sky on any given day. With the technology landscape evolving, we expect that number to increase over time. Now, the FBI has received tips of more than 5,000 reported drone sightings in the past few weeks, with approximately 100 leads generated, and the federal government is supporting state and local officials and investigating these reports. Consistent with each of our unique missions and authorities, we're quickly working to prioritize and follow these leads. We have sent advanced detection technology to the region, and we have sent trained visual observers. I want you all to pay attention because they're saying a whole lot of nothing as far as I'm concerned. Please pay attention. Okay, trained visual observers. Now, having closely examined the technical data and tips from concerned citizens, we assess that the sightings to date include a combination of lawful commercial drones, hobbyist drones, and law enforcement drones, as well as manned fixed-wing aircraft, helicopters, and stars mistakenly reported as drones. We have not identified anything anomalous and do not assess the activity to date to present a national security or public safety risk over the civilian airspace in New Jersey or other states in the Northeast. That said, we recognize the concern among many communities. We continue to support state and local authorities with advanced detection technology and support of law enforcement. I'm sure that makes us all feel a whole lot better, right? We urge Congress to enact counter UAS legislation when it reconvenes that would extend and expand exhausting counter-drone authorities to identify and mitigate any threat that may emerge. Additionally, there have been a limited number of visual sightings of drones over military facilities in New Jersey and elsewhere, including within restricted airspace. Such sightings near or over DOD installations are not new. DOD takes unauthorized access over its airspace seriously and coordinates closely with federal, state, and local law enforcement authorities as appropriate. Local commanders are actively engaged to ensure that there are appropriate detection and mitigation measures in place. Now, what some people have speculated, and mind you, this is all speculation. Some people have speculated that maybe they're doing all of this because they want to pass some sort of legislation to try to dictate when people can fly their drones or something like that. Now, they did pass legislation in September of this year. Legislation aims to limit Chinese drone manufacturers' access to U.S. infrastructure, and because they have national security concerns listed and concerns from the drone industry and the Senate version of the Countering CCP Drones Act. I mean, it's pretty lengthy, so I'm not going to get all into it. I'll just read a portion of it, maybe a paragraph. On September the 9th of 2024, the U.S. House of Representatives passed the Countering CCP Drones Act, a bipartisan bill introduced by Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, designed to address concerns about the presence of Chinese drones, specifically those from Dajiang Innovations, known as DJI, in the U.S. infrastructure. Now, the legislation seeks to add DJI to the Federal Communications Commissions, also known as the FCC, to their covered list. The legislation can effectively prohibit new models of DJI drones from operating on U.S. communication networks. Now, the Countering CCP Drones Act is driven by national security concerns that was raised by multiple U.S. government agencies regarding DJI's ties to the Chinese government. Now, since 2017, U.S. intelligence agencies have flagged DJI for allegedly sharing sensitive data with the Chinese Communist Party. The charges that the company they deny. They said they didn't do it. Now, the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Defense, also known as DOD, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation have all warned about potential risk posed by Chinese-made drones. Chairman John Molinar of the House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party stated that DJI poses a real national security risk to the U.S., given its deep partnership with the Chinese military, its express allegiance to the Chinese Communist Party, and its surveillance technology operating across U.S. soil. So they passed that in September of this year. Now, let's go to this report from Kirby on News Nation. John Kirby, that is. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. And while we're waiting on that to queue, let's have a word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts, and also you can find it at Walmart.com.
From John Kirby there over at the White House. What say you?
Well, I think it's very misleading at best. If he knows something, he should say it. To say that sightings that people in the Coast Guard, in the United States Navy, and Naval Air Station, Weapons Station Earl, which is in my district, they've seen drones at and right in close proximity to that munitions depot. People at Picatinny in like manner. Many law enforcement people have seen it. They've seen it in a way that suggests formations that are coming off the ocean into the land. And even with the Coast Guard, I spoke to one of the commanders who said one of our 47-foot rescue boats, right on its stern, were between 12 and 30 drones following close proximity to that. I mean, they had no idea who they were.
What do they think that was?
Yeah. Oh, they think it's drones. They don't know.
Oh,
I
like
asked
what?
them about the rules of engagement. If they get too close, what do? You know how to interdict people who are carrying weapons as well as drugs. What do you do if there's a drone that's right on your tail like that? So they said they're seeking advice. I haven't heard back what that advice yet is. So I think this idea is see no evil, hear no evil. It is reminiscent of what we saw prior to 9/11, what we've seen many times with the Department of State. I wrote a law called the Embassy Security Act back in the year 2000. It is the law of the land. We had two of our embassies bombed by Al Qaeda. One was in Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. The other one was in Kenya, in Nairobi. There were warnings that went unheeded. There were requests for additional munitions and help and visual aids. They got none of it. So I wrote a law that did setbacks and did all kinds of other things, and it's the law of the land. I'll never forget when Admiral Crow, who was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff previously, testified at my hearings. He was in disbelief about how there was a culture of denial. Now, if these things are nothing but benign influences, they better speak to us now.
Congressman, can you still hear me? I saw you were messing there with your earpiece.
Yeah, it did fall out a minute ago. I'm sorry.
No worries.
I didn't hear you.
I just heard you start talking though about 9/11. You're ready to go there?
No. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
We have to be very careful that we look at signs. There were all kinds of signs prior to 9/11. My brother was an airline pilot. He kept saying, why are those doors to the cockpits so weak that a person who is not even a black belt with Taekwondo could take one out and get to the pilots?
Okay.
And and I raised that issue over and over again, and nothing was ever done until afterwards, when obviously they had access to our pilots.
A couple more questions here. Who told you in the Coast Guard that story that you were talking
I have
about?
his name.
Like what's the position? What's
I have
the
his
rank?
name. He's the commanding officer. Well, he's the commanding officer from the Barnegat Coast Guard, and he was with me and the sheriff when we were on the beach, and I have his card right in my pocket, and we talked about it. He's the one who told me. I hadn't heard about it before. That was about a week ago.
So,
and I talked to the commanding officer at Earl, Blake. The commanding officer told me that his guys looked up and saw a drone right near the rail line that takes our munitions to the pier, which are then unloaded onto ships.
So I hear what you're.
It?
Yeah. So I hear what you're. So here's what the White House says, and this is kind of where I'm stuck, because they said today that it's lawful commercial drones, hobbyist drones, manned aircraft, even stars. Okay, and that they have this information after they quote unquote surged resources. So do you believe that Doug from Hoboken or Susie from Morristown in your state, right? I see you laughing because you know where I'm going. Doug from Hoboken, Susie from Morristown flies a drone up in the air, whether it's a lawful commercial drone, a hobbyist drone, and the United States government with its $800 billion Pentagon budget needed to quote unquote surge resources to figure that out?
Why did we know it right off the bat? By day one, we should have been saying, this is what it is, and responsible parties should have been made aware of it, including our governor, who's asked for more information, which he has not gotten. Maybe he's getting it now. I've talked to the head of the state police, who's an excellent leader, and he, I have a bill I'm introducing that will at least vest authority into the state polices of all of our states to have the capability to discern what these drones are and others that might follow. And also, if you have to bring them down. Remember, they're unmanned drones. So if you do it in a place where there's no population, like over the water, you can ascertain what it is, who they are. And again, as you know, Blake, the warfare has radically changed. Where drone warfare, look at Ukraine, look at the Middle East. It has become the go-to method of delivering packages that include ordnance.
I had 8 UTIs in 1 year.
Okay, so I find it all very interesting. And here's the thing. This to me, this just puts me in the mind of something that I read about years ago. If any of you have ever heard of the Rendlesham forest incident that supposedly happened in the 80s, that's what it's given, okay? That's what it's given as far as I'm concerned. So let's talk about that for a second, because it was all nefarious, okay? I read about this over a decade ago. Rendlesham forest, and they thought it was UFOs. So 40 years ago, well, actually, it'll be about 44 years ago now, because this article is from 2020. Now, about 44 years ago, a remote forest in Suffolk was the scene of one of the most famous purported UFO sightings in history. So just what did happen? And will we even ever know for sure? Now, they say Vince Thurkettle was out chopping wood one morning in Rendlesham Forest in late December of 1980 when a car drew up. Now, once out stepped 2 men, aged about 30 years old, dressed in suits. Okay, they look to be about 30 years old. Good morning. Do you mind if we ask you some questions? See, this is what I'm talking about right here. I didn't see nothing. Okay, if I see UFOs, I'm not reporting anything. So anyway, do you mind if we ask you some questions? This is what one of them said in a well-spoken English accent. Now, earlier on the 26th and the 28th of December, United States Air Force, USAF, security personnel stationed at nearby RAF Woodbridge had reported seeing strange lights in the surrounding forest. Forestry worker Mr. Thurkettle's unannounced and unidentified visitors asked if he had been out the previous night. Now they want to know what he saw, if anything. I said, no, he recalls. They said, did you leave the house at all? Did you see anything? I said, what? They said, Oh, there's a report of some red lights in the forest. We're just checking. Already sounds nefarious and suspicious. And the two of them, very politely but firmly, asked me probably about 20 questions. I thought they were journalists. Honey, I would have known they were from the government and I would have answered a thing. They suddenly said, "Oh, well, fair enough. There's probably nothing in it." And they left. Now, 3 years later, however, the sightings made a news of the world front page story. Okay, it proclaimed UFO lands in Suffolk, and that's official. The story was based on a memo from RAF Woodbridge Deputy Base Commander Lieutenant Colonel Charles Halt to the Ministry of Defense, known as the MOD. Now, it was released by the U.S. government and described an encounter with an apparent UFO in the forest. Since then, the sightings have been the source of much debate and speculation among UFO enthusiasts and the subject of numerous books, articles, and TV programs. Now, in March, a documentary concluded the sightings had achieved legendary status like the Loch Ness Monster or King Arthur. Now, I just want you all to pay attention because they wouldn't ask that man 1,000 questions. Well, about 20, but I'm exaggerating. But all because they felt like he knew something about it. Now, that article didn't go into too much detail. That was just them talking to the guy who was supposedly in the area, and they thought maybe he knew something. Hold on, beloveds. Hold on. So anyway, yeah, here we go. Let's talk about this. Let me send this to my email real quick. But while we're waiting for that to get to my email, I want you all to listen to this because this guy seems to think that this may be a false flag, which is what I'm thinking. Okay, like they're preparing us for something nefarious. Okay, maybe a fake alien invasion, like I said, or Project Bluebeam. Now, of course, I'm speculating, but let's listen to this audio. I'm not going to play the video, but I'm going to play the audio. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
Something is going on, and I don't think we have the answers to it just yet, as some may claim they do, but I don't think we do.
Right. I mean, it doesn't seem like Adam Kinzinger did a lot of study for that piece on CNN. He's just spitballing.
He watched a lot of videos. He watched every video.
He watched every one.
That's all he did all weekend.
Okay.
And he cried about it.
All right. Well, last week we showed you this fake CNN video of Clarissa Ward rescuing a Syrian prisoner who was.
Okay, so anyway, excuse me. Anyway, they were talking about that same guy that I was talking about, okay, Kinzinger. How he's just sitting there, telling us all this bull crap. They said he must have watched a lot of videos. Okay, but I think I skipped past the part when they said it clearly sounds like possibly a PSYOP operation or some sort of false flag. And I saw some of you, when I was showing the footage of the guy that said he saw one as big as a school bus and he got out of his car, I saw some of you guys saying that he sounds like a crisis actor. That's exactly what he looked like. I mean, just think about how much airtime they gave him. Now, do you ever see them having people on the news talking that lengthy a time? They usually don't do that. They give you maybe 2 minutes and they're out of there. But with him, they had him talking nonstop. I had to skip past him. And that's usually the case when it's a crisis actor, okay? And like, those of you who've been following me, you know that I know all about crisis actors because I was one. Okay, please pay attention. I told you all my professor picked me and several other students when I was in college to participate in this little incident. And we were supposed to have been in like a bomb explosion, and they had us laid out on the floor, as some of us, and they gave us little scripts and little, descriptions of how we're supposed to be. Like, some people were supposed to play dead. Some people were supposed to be in shock. Like me, I was in shock. And, it was just a whole bunch of crap. Like, and they were recording it, and they had the fire department and the police. It was all nefarious. That's what I'm telling you guys. So they absolutely do this crap. All right. And hey, I did all of that just for extra credit in the class. Okay, please pay attention. Tina Ross said, yes, Queen, they never give that much time. Exactly. Little X, I remember you saying this, Queen. Okay. I have been a whole crisis actor. Hold on. Luna said, Queen, what haven't you done? You amaze me. Honey, I've done a lot. Thank you. I have done a lot, honey, but that was all so crazy. And here's the thing. When I was lying there, I was supposed to be in shock. But the people that came in, you know, they were supposed to be the people coming in to rescue us and all this. And they said, leave the dead and get the living first. That was the whole thing. And so they couldn't tell if I was dead or not because me playing like I'm in shock, I was just lying there motionless with my eyes open. So they didn't know if I was dead with my eyes open, supposed to be dead with my eyes open or what, honey. It was all nefarious. And after that, they were like, you know what? You should be an actress. Yeah, I am. Please sit down somewhere. Okay, so anyway, let's talk about this Rendlesham Forest incident. So the Rendlesham Forest incident was a series of reported sightings of unexplained lights near Rendlesham Forest in Suffolk, England in December of 1980, which became linked to UFO landings. Now, the events occurred just outside of Rath Woodbridge, which was used at the time by the United States Air Force. Okay, this is why it was so big over here. Now, the USAF personnel, including Deputy Base Commander Lieutenant Colonel Charles is that an I? Charles I. Hall claimed to see things they describe as a UFO. The occurrence is the most famous of alleged UFO events that have happened in the United Kingdom and is among the best known reported UFO events worldwide. It has been compared to the Roswell UFO incident in the United States and is sometimes called Britain's Roswell. Now, if you have not ever studied, researched, or read about the Roswell UFO incident, you should. It is very interesting. And also is the Philadelphia experiment. Now, the occurrence in this famous and the most famous of alleged UFO events to have happened in the United Kingdom and is among the best known reported UFO. Okay, I think I read all that. Now, the UK Ministry of Defense has stated that the event posed no threat to national security and therefore it was never investigated as a security matter. Skeptics have explained the sightings as a misinterpretation of a series of nocturnal lights, a fireball. Yeah, right. Okay, and then they said the Ordnance Lighthouse with bright stars. So on December the 26th, around 3 o'clock, I guess it was AM, it doesn't say. Okay. And it was actually reported on December the 27th, okay, by Hall in his memo to the UK of Ministry of Defense. Now, a security patrol near the gate of the RAF Woodbridge saw lights apparently descending into nearby Rendlesham Forest. Now, these lights have been attributed by astronomers to a piece of natural debris seen burning up as a fireball meteor over southern England at the time. Servicemen initially thought it was a downed aircraft. Now, according to Hall's memo, upon entering the forest to investigate, they witnessed a glowing object that was metallic in appearance with colored lights. As they attempted to approach the object, it appeared to move through the trees, and the animals on a nearby farm went into a frenzy. One of the servicemen, Sergeant Jim Peniston, later claimed to have encountered a craft of unknown origin while in the forest, although there was no publicized mention of this at the time, and there was no corroboration from other witnesses. Shortly after 4, local police were called to the scene, but reported that the only lights they could see were those from the Oxford Ness Lighthouse, some miles away on the coast. So they just tried to brush it off. Now, after daybreak on the morning of December the 26th, servicemen returned to a small clearing near the eastern edge of the forest and found 3 small impressions on the ground in a triangular pattern, as well as burn marks and broken branches on nearby trees. At 10:30, the local police were called out again. Now, this time, the impressions, which they thought could have been made by an animal, okay, Georgina Bruni, in her book, You Can't Tell the People, published a photograph of the supposed landing the landing site that she had taken on the morning, or that was taken on the morning after the sightings. A landing site? So it sounds like something came up out of the sky. Okay. And then there was burn marks and all of that. And let's not forget, over in the UK, that's where they had those reported sightings of crop circles 2 years ago. Now, the deputy, this was on December the 28th, they said the deputy base commander, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Hall, or Holt visited the site with several servicemen in the early hours on December the 28th, 1980. And this was reported December the 29th by Hall. They took radiation readings in the Triangle Depressions, in the Triangle Depressions and in the surrounding area using, I'm not even going to say what that is, it's a bunch of letters. It's some type of technology or whatever they use, okay? Some type of tool, a standard U.S. radiation survey meter. Although they recorded 0.07 hold on, I need my glasses. I can't see what this says. It's small print. Let me see here. Milliroentgens per hour. In other regions, they detected 0.03 to 0.04 per hour around the background level. Furthermore, they detected a similar small burst over a half of a mile from the landing site. Halt recorded the events on a micro cassette recorder, and it was during this investigation that a flashing red light was seen across the field to the east, almost in line with a farmhouse as the witnesses had seen on the first night. Now, the Oxford Nest Lighthouse is visible further to the east in that same line of sight. So anyway, later, according to Holt's memo, 3 star-like lights were seen high in the sky. 2 to the north and 1 to the south, about 10 degrees above the horizon. Holt said the brightest of these hovered for 2 to 3 hours and seemed to beam down a stream of light from time to time. Astronomers have explained these star-like lights as bright stars. And I want you all to pay attention because they try to tell these people, oh, it's nothing. It was just bright stars. Nothing to see here, folks. This is all crazy. Okay, the same thing they're trying to tell us now, talking about its planes. Okay, talking about its airplanes. So it sounds very much the same. Things in the sky that look suspicious, look strange, hovering above the trees and whatnot. Not so high that you can't see specific details of the crafts or whatever they are, and then you can see the colors of the lights. And then people trying to deny it, and then people coming around asking questions. Okay, and here's the thing. This is how you know this is all cap. What's going on right now? Because nobody's coming around asking any questions, okay? Nobody's going around to these people who are recording these things and saying, hey, could you tell us what all you saw and who was with you? They're not asking all of those questions, okay? That's how you know it's all BS. Please pay attention. Because with that whole Rendlesham forest thing, that was real. And how do you know it was real? It's because they tried to brush it off and act like, oh, it's just stars in the sky. And then they came and asked that man days later, what did you see in the forest the other nights? And who was with you? Oh, I didn't see anything. And they asked him a whole bunch of questions, okay? I just want you all to pay attention because they think they're so slick. They think they're so slick. I'm pretty sure this is our own government doing this and trying to act as though they don't want to cause mass hysteria, but that's exactly what you're trying to cause, okay? That's exactly what they're trying to cause. I mean, at the end of the day, get ready for Project Bluebeam is all I'm going to tell you. Get ready for it. Get ready for Project Bluebeam or something else crazy, a fake alien invasion. That's just my opinion. Luna said it's all cap. Queen knows. I'm telling you, I don't believe it at all. Okay, anyway, so with that being said, I'm out of here. You guys told me to look into it, and I did. Southwest Houston, Texas said Trump said the government knows what the drones are earlier today and said they need to tell the people. Yes, beloved, I played that video of him saying it. I guess you came in a little bit late. But yeah, I did show that. Of course they know what it is. Of course they know exactly what it is. Okay, they need to sit down somewhere trying to fool people. Rashid said Project Bluebeam to be followed by Project Maitreya. Honey, it's no telling what all they have going on and up their sleeve, okay? Just remember about the nefariousness of Project Bluebeam, okay? Which is all a conspiracy theory, by the way. None of it's real. Okay, Aqua Girl Rising said, Queen, it's to save us. It's to save us of it all. LOL. Right. Oh, so crazy. Okay, so anyway, listen. Southwest Houston, Texas said it's a distraction. You know, it could be that too, but at the end of the day, I think it's preparation. Listen, I've been telling you all that I believe there's going to be an alleged fake alien invasion for about 2 years now. And I told you about Project Bluebeam 4 years ago, the first time. Okay, 2020. So that all been said. Look at Trisha. Trisha, where have you been? Trisha's in here talking about what in the world is Project Bluebeam. Trisha, please go watch the video on this channel. Okay, please go watch the video on this channel, honey. Because Project Bluebeam, I guarantee. Matter of fact, let me just drop the link in the chat for those of you who missed it, because you all need to watch that. Okay, let me just drop I did this recently. It wasn't that long ago. I did it November the 27th. So let me just drop the link in the chat. This is the video y'all need to see. Y'all be popping in here to see that Jay-Z and Diddy crap. This is what y'all need to be paying attention to, okay? That's what y'all need to be. There it is right there. There's the link, beloved. Okay, so for anybody that missed it, Rashid said Serge Mona spoke about Project Bluebeam. Yes, absolutely. He's the one that gave us all the receipts about it, and then he turned up dead. Okay, he and another one of his scholar friends, they turned up dead within a week of each other from heart attacks. I want y'all to pay attention. By the way, does any of you all know, do you guys know that they have this heart attack gun the CIA allegedly has? That it shoots a bullet made of ice that has toxins and poisons on it, like shellfish toxins and whatnot. Now, this is all alleged. And then you get shot with it, and it kills you because the poisons get into your bloodstream, and then you have a heart attack, and then the bullet melts because it's made out of ice, and then it looks like you died of natural causes. Hey, but what do I know? What do I know? Okay, this is all crazy. AJ said, I saw that last week, Queen. You did? Okay, thank you, beloved. I'm glad you saw it. You all make sure you watch that video about Project Bluebeam. So anyway, I'm out of here. Don't expect me to be in here early in the morning, guys. Serge said, thank you, Queen, for another great broadcast. Thank you, beloved, for tuning in. Okay, so listen, I love you guys to life. I'll be back tomorrow. Okay, I'll do the morning wake-up call, but I'm just saying it might be around 10 or so. Okay, so until next time, beloveds, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, and never destructive. And always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got